These crimes that he's accused of and now convicted of, they date back to the 90s, the earliest being 1994, where he's accused of and convicted of bribery in a case that had to do with another high-profile person, Aaliyah, also an R&B singer who died years ago, but someone that was revealed in this case to have been in a relationship sexually with him that he began when, according to the reports in court, when she was just 13 or 14 years old. It's been horrific to listen to, but today these survivors say this looks like justice.
Did he marry her? And there was some question about court documents, about her age being put on the document as a lot older than she actually was.
Exactly. The crime he was actually convicted of did not include the sexual abuse. It was bribery. He was charged and convicted with getting a government official to give her a fake ID card so that she would appear to be 18 and they could get legally married in the state of Illinois. That's something that was rumored for years, that he married her when she was underage, and really was swept under the rug. It was annulled, and there was no real conversation or criminal charges attached to that conversation regarding Aaliyah. She could not, of course, be here in court because she passed away in a plane crash. But that is really one of the hardest pieces of this to listen to, that someone that was so beloved here may have been going through this, and it went essentially under the rug and not put into a courtroom or even where he would have faced any ramifications at that time.
The charges are many. 30 years, again, many people saying that was not enough for what he's done, but again, mitigation from his defence, saying, well, look, he was sexually abused by his sister and other family members when he was, 6 or 7 years old. This is what led to his hypersexuality. This is what led to his subsequent behaviour. The whole story again about, well, he's a victim too.
We did hear that theme today, not only from the judge when she was sentencing, of course, the defense attorney who brought that up in their presentation. They were asking for under 10 years as a punishment, but also from the survivors. I was inside of the courthouse when they were able to share their stories, and some of them mentioned that we know you were abused, we want you to get help, but that's no excuse for what happened. The judge echoed that when she handed down her sentence. She said she took into account the fact that he had been abused. His defense attorney said that when he was a child, his sister and his landlord were involved in that sexual abuse, and that it continued to shape who he became. But she said there are many others who have gone through similar situations, and they don't in turn become predators, but yet that is what she saw in the evidence against Kelly.
And are we expecting, like with Ghislaine, the possibility of further charges for R. Kelly?
Well, it's really not speculative in the sense that he has 3 other cases that are pending. One in a federal court in Illinois, another state case in Illinois, and that's Chicago, where he's from, where a lot of these claims and charges and accusations centered, but also in Minnesota. So it's definitely not over in terms of what's pending, but whether there could be more charges, it seems more likely that there could be more charges against those who were around him, because the case that was here in this courthouse had to do with an enterprise, with racketeering, the fact that he used other people to carry out this sex trafficking. It could have been that they didn't know that they were participating in this, but it could be that some did know and could face charges.
So one more tour for R. Kelly then, but not the kind he's used to.
You're absolutely right. A very different kind of tour, but he's now facing the music for the first time.
Where will he go as well? I'm just fascinated, Julia, because he's been locked up, but where will he now go for full custody?
Well, right now, because those cases are still pending, they'll have to look at whether they send him to federal prison. Right now, he's been in state jail. He was moved from Chicago, where most of his charges are, here to New York so that he could face the ones that federal prosecutors brought against him here. So he could be transferred to a federal prison, but none of that will be taking place until at least September, because there's another hearing to finalize all of this that's still upcoming inside of this courthouse.
And presumably, just quickly, there will be an appeal, will there? But there usually is. Will he try and appeal this?
He has a new attorney.
Yeah.
Absolutely. His attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, she represented Cosby. She said they are appealing this case.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where I'd put my money for who the next big star is, Julia, who we might be talking about in the future. But one thing's for sure, we will be.
That's absolutely right. It does seem that prosecutors have much more of an appetite to go after these high-profile cases with wealthy and famous defendants, but I've noticed that documentaries and things that expose decades of abuse like this seem to be a good prompter for these attorneys to get involved.
Oh, they certainly can't ignore it, can they, if it's on telly?